Hey guys, thanks for joining me in today's video where I'm going to be doing pretty much a full face of new makeup. So a lot of the stuff I've already been testing out, so I formulated a pretty solid opinion on how I feel about these products, and I am going to tell you right now a lot of this that I'm going to show you guys I have been so happy with. So I cannot wait to share this with you guys. If you are new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Suzana and I love to talk about makeup. If you like makeup as much as I do, hey, we can be friends here. Most of my videos are review videos. I also like to do haul videos as well, and I want to get into more shopping my stash because I love to watch those type of videos. They remind me of products that I haven't used in a while, so I get real excited to pull them out again, and I kind of want to give that back to my channel as well. So I am planning on doing more of those. Most of the products I talk about are luxury, but I also like to work in some drugstore products as well because I don't know, sometimes they just intrigue me. I started off with drugstore makeup and I've definitely moved up to luxury now. So if these things intrigue you, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on future videos. Alright, so my lips are pretty dry, so let's just start off with some lip balm. I ended up ordering that new Trend Mood Volume 3 box. Those boxes are hands down the best. Totally worth it. I love that you know what you're getting before you purchase the box. So in today's video, I'm going to use a few products that I got from the latest box. The first one is this lip balm. So this is actually from Glow Recipe. I already threw out the box, but it's like it's a lip balm, but it also has like little beads in here to help exfoliate your lips. I love that you can build it up to get a little bit of a tint, and it feels really, really hydrating to the lips. So I have been enjoying this a lot. The only thing I don't really like is it's watermelon. By the way, wait, let me tell you guys the name of this. It is the Glow Recipe Lip Pop. So the only thing I don't enjoy very much about this is I love watermelon, but I don't like the watermelon taste or scent to be infused in products. I just don't enjoy it like that. It's just too artificial for me. But it kind of goes away after a little bit, and I just like how my lips look and feel, so I'm willing to kind of look past that. Now, another product that I got, and this is something I honestly would have never ever purchased. Actually, we got all three of them. So e.l.f. has released 2 more products that belong to their Putty Primer line. They already had the Poreless Putty Primer, so this is a new to the e.l.f. brand, and a lot of people say that that's actually a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas. Now I really like this one, except that I have to be really careful with how I use it. I haven't tried this one, so I have no idea if that does the same thing. They also came out with a Luminous Putty Primer. I have yet to try that as well. And then here is the Matte Putty Primer. So this is the one that we're going to be using today, and this is how it comes. It's like this white base to it. And the reason I want to use this one today is because I think I'm hoping it'll help with the foundation we're going to use. I have combination skin, so my T-zone gets really oily, but I do have dry patches on my cheeks as well as my chin. So I want to make sure I just apply this on my T-zone to try and keep the oils at bay and see if it helps out with the foundation, since it is a really radiant foundation. Now this is the only thing I've only used once, and I've got to say it feels so nice to apply. It's a very thin formula. It's almost as if you're applying a moisturizer. I will say that I'm a little bit surprised at how nice my skin feels afterwards. It doesn't feel drying. It doesn't feel... I don't know if it really looks matte, because to tell you guys the truth, when I first used it, I didn't pay too much attention, but I'm going to take a closer look right now and see. But I've got to say, like, it just feels so nice on the skin. It kind of feels like moisturizing in a way, which is just odd. I guess I was expecting this to feel a little bit like the, let's see, I have it here, the Farsali Liquid Powder Primer. So that one, once you start working it into the skin, it starts feeling a little bit powdery, whereas this one, it just feels really nice, like very velvety. And then looking closer in a mirror, it does help smooth out my texture a little bit. It did fill in my pores a bit. I have other primers that do a better job at filling in my pores. But let's just see how this one works on its own with this foundation. Okay, so for the foundation, I'm using this one from Estee Lauder. This is the Futurist Hydro Rescue Moisturizing Makeup with an SPF of 45. I had mentioned in my haul video that I was going to do a dedicated video on this foundation, which I did. I absolutely kept my word on that, but I am not going to post it. I mean, really just really bad. So instead, we're just going to talk about it in today's video and show you guys how it applies, and I'll explain what I think about this foundation. Now, I have it in the shade 3-in-1 Ivory Beige. I'm just going to go ahead and pump. As you can see, like, the pump here is quite disgusting. I really have been using this. And I'm going to use about 2 pumps of this. This here are the 2 pumps. And you can see it's very liquidy. I have used it with a beauty blender and it applies nicely, but the coverage is a little bit less than if you were to use a foundation brush. So today I am going to use a foundation brush. So this foundation does come in 20 different shades, and it is described to be a medium to full coverage. So you can definitely build this up. I like to just apply 1 layer, and then sometimes I just go in areas where I need more coverage and tap on a little bit more there. But overall, 1 layer is sufficient for me. So here we have one side of my face with that foundation on. I mean, I haven't brought it up to the forehead yet. But as you can see, it's a solid medium coverage like this. And I absolutely love it. It feels lightweight. It feels and looks very natural on the skin. And my skin looks radiant. So this does have that radiant finish to it. It's supposed to give us a 12-hour radiant glow, as a matter of fact. And I've got to say, I mean, it does. Right off the bat, I love how this looks on me. I'm just going to keep applying this. I think it does a really great job with the coverage. It's got a little bit of a scent to it. Now, I'm not super familiar with Estee Lauder products, so I'm assuming that this is probably their signature scent, but it's not overwhelming at all. So when I first apply this, I love how this looks on my skin. My skin just looks very healthy. It evens out my complexion really well. I am going to have to go in and spot conceal because I don't like to build this up too much. That's just the case with pretty much any foundation. All right, so here's my entire face with the foundation on. I love it, love it. The thing is, because I do have an oily T-zone, there is absolutely no way I can get away with wearing this foundation for 12 hours. This is a foundation I know I can be happy with like a 6-hour wear. My skin stays looking really nice with this, and even a few hours in, it looks really good. It still continues to look radiant. But after about 3 to 4 hours, my T-zone gets extremely oily. And I've done it where my favorite like setting powder is this one from Huda Beauty, which I am going to use today to show you guys how I use this foundation. And the oils still break through. So I'm really hoping that primer makes a difference, because overall this foundation is so beautiful. It does not cling onto any of my dry patches. It looks flawless, and it doesn't separate at all. So those are 3 things that I always look for in a foundation. So I'm really hoping to find a way to make it work. If you have oily skin and you love this foundation and it works for you, please let us know in the comments down below, because I would love to use this more often. Now, as far as concealer, I'm using this one from DIOR. It is the Forever Skin Correct. The shade I have is 3N. So this one's a little bit dark for me, but I'm just going to use it right where I have my dark circles. And actually, you know what? I'm also going to use this one to spot conceal a little bit. I like to go with a darker concealer for spot concealing. So I really like the consistency of this concealer. I think it's described as a full coverage, but I would say it's more like a medium. Again, it's probably one of those that we can build up, but especially with concealers under the eyes, I am not going to build this up because my eyes will look creepy. But I'm happy with the coverage that it gives. So no complaints. It wears really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my T-zone using my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder in the shade Cupcake. Oh my gosh, you like never get used to the scent of this powder. It's so heavily scented. I don't know why she does this. So to not get rid of all of the radiance and also to show off another product, we're using this new finishing powder from YSL. So this is actually described, it could be a finishing powder or a multi-use highlighter. I am going to use it as a finishing powder to add a little bit of that glow. So it just comes in this one shade here, and this is called the Touche Éclat 3D All Over Glow. Actually, let me rewind a little bit because I want to show you guys this packaging. I had no idea it was going to come in this beautiful pink iridescent packaging. I absolutely love it. The bottom rim of this is in gold, and of course it has the YSL in gold as well. I am so loving the packaging. And then you get a decent sized mirror there, and this does flip upward because it comes with a brush that I will more than likely never ever use. So we'll tuck that back in there. So this is the only shade it comes in. It says it is a universal shade. I'll see if I can kind of get anything off of the swatch here. That's how it looks. And it is described as an iridescent with micro pearls. So you do see a little bit of that when you apply it. And maybe you can see it in my swatch there as well. You can see it kind of pearly. So it looks really pretty. I love the glow that it gives onto my skin because it's not overpowering. Just that really beautiful natural looking glow that I just absolutely love. So I tried using this as a highlighter, but I didn't really like it like that. So today we're going to apply it how I enjoy it the most, which is just all over the skin. I want to try to avoid this area here where I have more pores because it's just going to accentuate that. Anything you use that's glowy is really going to show off texture, and if you have big pores, it's going to show that off as well. So I'm going to try my best to avoid that area, but everywhere else I do want to apply this. And I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but you can see like a pearly glow to my skin. It looks very natural. I absolutely love this. I feel like this is probably something you can even use on its own. Like even if you don't use foundation, I think something like this will look really nice on the skin. You know, just to add a little something something. I think using something like this within my foundation would work even nicer. Today, just for the sake of this video and to show you guys how it looks, and I hope it really does show on camera. I think it does. Like there's that subtle glow. Alright, so I already did my eyebrows. I do absolutely nothing fancy with my brows. As a matter of fact, I feel like I pretty much suck at doing my brows. But now let's go ahead and apply some highlighter. So I bought this one from Bobbi Brown. I got it at Nordstrom, and this is the highlighting powder in the shade Sunset Glow. Now this is not new to the Bobbi Brown line. The only thing new about this is really just the limited edition packaging. I believe this is for the Lunar New Year. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is how it looks. It's a pink highlighter with some gold shimmer. And it's that baked gelée formula. So here, let's do a little swatchy swatch. It looks a little bit like a rose gold. It's really pretty, but it is very subtle when you apply it onto the skin, which honestly, I'm pretty happy about because there's something about pink highlighters that I enjoy, but not all of them are equal. This one here, I really like. And this is one of those products that you can use to do that strobing effect. So I'm using my ABH number A23 brush. So this is a highlighter brush. I'm actually not the biggest fan of this brush, but I feel like it does a pretty good job at picking up this type of formula. And I'm building it up a little bit. And I'm covering more area. Something like this, because it's not so intense and because it does have some pigment to it, I like to kind of bring down onto my cheek as well. I just think it looks so pretty, and this is something that somebody with a deeper skin tone than me can also use as a highlighter, I think. So it's really nice. I have been enjoying this so much. I don't have a new bronzer, so I'm just going to use this one from Pure Cosmetics. Oops, dropping it. It is the Bronzing Act. It's a matte bronzer in the shade Light. I really like this. It smells like chocolate, which is a huge bonus. The shade of this is perfect. Alright, so this blush has like taken over all of my other blushes. Like this, I have been so in love with. It is from Chanel, and it is part of their more recent spring collection. Now this is the only product I picked up from that collection. Everything else looked beautiful, and I had the majority of those products in my cart. But when it came down to it, I just knew those eyeshadow palettes weren't going to be something I would reach for all that often. I just really didn't feel like it was something I needed to add onto my collection. But this blush, No, this blush I had to have. Online, it didn't look as bright as it looks in person, and it seems like it's actually capturing pretty good on camera. This is like a pink corally shade, and it is just so pretty. It's very pigmented, and I feel like a shade like this will work really good on multiple skin tones. Now these don't swatch all that great. Blushes typically don't. And it's got like that satin finish. There is absolutely no sparkle on this when you put it on. If you were to see it on the pan, you can kind of see little tiny like super fine like sparkles in here, but it does not show at all on the skin. So I'm gonna use my Smashbox Buildable Cheek brush here. And because of the pigment, I'm going to start back here and then bring it forward. And as you can see, it's a little bit sheen-like it gives pigment, but it's not super opaque. Now we can build this up, which I'm gonna do in just a second so I can show you guys how it'll look. But typically just one layer of this is all I use. And this applies just so evenly onto the cheeks. I love this. So we'll add a little bit more. All right, that's about as intense as I want this to get. But look at that. Isn't it so pretty? And I think it'll also work to your benefit if I actually told you guys the name of it. So this is the 330 Rose Petillant. So using my Fenty Beauty Amplifying Eye Primer, I'm going to prime the eyes for the eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow, I'm using this Paris Edit from Viseart. This is a 12-pan palette, and it comes with a mixture of mattes, metallics, and shimmers. Now these eyeshadows are top-notch, amazing. They work so good together. I absolutely love every single shade in here. The only one, and it's not that I don't love it, it's a really nice shade, but the only one that confuses me a little bit is this one right here. I would have liked for this to have more of a pink undertone to it, or like a lilac undertone to it, but it actually has more of a like yellowish gold. And I just find it kind of odd. The first time I used it to highlight the inner corners of my eyes, and it did not go with the look I was wearing. I had to go in and mix in some other shades to try to salvage that. Now, it is still a really pretty shade. I just don't feel like it goes into this palette all that well. Everything else here though works really, really good together. I just love this. So let's go ahead and start applying it. So the first shade we're going to go in is this Creme Brulee shade right here. And this is described as a light toffee shade. With my Sonia G Blender Pro, I'm going to just apply this as a transition shade. So it's going to go above my crease and pretty much all the way up to my brow bone. Same brush, I'm going to pick up Floor, and this is a Dusty Plum shade, and it's also matte. And I'm going to place this into the eye socket. And just really try to keep this here in the outer half portion of the crease area. With the same brush, I'm going to pick up Saint Germain, and this was described as a smoky purple with a shimmer finish. I'm going to apply this on the outer portion of the lid here. Try to deepen this portion out a little bit more before we go in with some lighter shades. Now with a pencil brush, I'm going to pick up Cerise, and this is a muted Merlot with a satin finish. And I'm just applying this in the bottom lash line. Then same pencil brush, I'm gonna pick up Tularius, and this is a shimmery medium toned mauve purple. And we're just gonna layer over this last shade we applied. So my absolute favorite eyeshadow is this one right here. It is so beautiful. Let me do a swatch. This one is called, it's so hard to kind of differentiate. So this one's called Opera, and it's described as a shimmering purple pink with a shimmery finish. Oh my gosh, this is so ridiculously beautiful. I mean, look at that. So I kind of feel like this can be described as a sophisticated metallic shade. It is just so gorgeous. I love it all over the lid. Absolutely love it. Another shade that's very similar to this, it just has a different tone, is this one. And this one's called Mariah's, and it's like a coppery brown shade. The intensity is about the same as the previous one, but just obviously a different shade. These are so pretty. So I think what we're gonna do is let's pick up this copper shade, since I haven't used that one nearly as much as I've used this one. And I'm gonna apply this over the lid, or we haven't applied any other eyeshadow on yet. Like, look at that. That is so beautiful. Actually, I might go over it with the other shade just to brighten it up a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna pick up the pinky shade here. I'm gonna layer over this. Beautiful. Let's go back to this shade here, and I'm going to pretty much apply this between the shimmery shades that we added on this inner portion of the lid with like this darker purple shimmery shade. Just kind of to overlap. Just make the transition a little bit more seamless. So I wiped off that first brush we were using, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this shade right here. This is like a light dusty mauve. It's a matte shade. And I'm just going to use this to kind of blend this inner portion here in the crease. And to do some brightening as well. I'm also going to use it for my brow bone. And then with another pencil brush, I'm going to pick up this pink shimmery shade to hit the inner corners with. Oh gosh, that is so pretty. I think you guys get the point. I love this palette. Now I have a few of the flight pencils from Fenty Beauty. I have these shades, let's see. I've got this one that's a matte gray shade. And that one is called Bachelor Pad. I've got this beautiful shimmery purple shade, Purple Stuff. And then I have a shimmery, kind of like a bronzy shade. It's like a shimmery brown, almost bronzy kind of, and this one's called Space Cookie. These eyeliners also really, really good. I'm telling you guys, everything I'm talking about today, or almost everything, is like, you need to go out and get them. These are things you've been eyeing. I 100% recommend them. So today I'm going to go ahead and use the matte gray one. Now these twist up. This is how the tip looks. Now the one thing I do not like about the packaging of this is that you cannot retract it. So if you apply this like on the lid, it's gonna last all day. It's not as smooth as if you were to apply it onto the waterline. On the waterline, it just glides right on super fast and easy. On the lash line, I feel like I have to work it a little bit more, but it's not too tough. I don't have to do much tugging or anything. And also because it's not a precise tip, if I don't want such a thick eyeliner, I do have to kind of work in small sections, but it's gonna last you all day on the lids. On the waterline, it has a pretty good longevity as well. I find that the shade fades just a little bit, but you still see eyeliner there. Where it fades the most on me is in the outer corners right here. But the good thing is it doesn't smudge or anything. So this shade, I'm going to go ahead and just apply on my lash line. This is actually the first shade I bought because I have black eyeliners, I have brown eyeliners, and I have some that I really like. So I thought if I'm going to try a new formula, let me try a shade that I don't have but I think would suit my collection pretty good. And that's what I feel that this is, because sometimes I don't want a brown eyeliner, but black is just too intense for me. So I like this one, and this one on the waterline also looks really good. Now for the waterline, I guess we'll go with the purple one. It definitely goes with this eye look a lot more. I really hate that I have to be careful with how much I take out. And just like that, really, really good. And by the way, look at that. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't go away. I really have to try to take this off. I do have a sample of the new Fenty Beauty mascara. This is the Full Frontal Volume Lift and Curl Mascara. So I had curled my eyelashes earlier. I don't think I'll curl them again. Now the wand on this it's quite unique. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to see this. So the sides of these are round, but it's got a flat surface to it. So this looks like a pedal board, pretty much. I believe the way that we're supposed to apply this is use the round side first to coat the lashes, and then to push them back to make them look a little bit more curly, and to have them stay lifted, we're supposed to use the flat side. So let's give it a go. I have used this a few times. It just feels a little bit weird, but it's not like difficult to use at all. Okay, so there we go. I just coated my lashes with like the round side, and I'm gonna take the flat side, just kind of push it towards my lids and swipe up. Like, it coats my lashes really, really well without them looking clumpy, but they look a lot more full, and it does lift them pretty nicely as well. As you can see, there's the difference. Okay, so I actually surprisingly have quite a few new lip glosses. So the one I am going to use today is this one from McGrath. It looks like she released actually a lot of shades in these, but those are found on her website. Sephora only carries 4 of the shades. And honestly, I kind of had to convince myself to get these. So I swatched these in store, and they look like really metallic-y. And I was a little bit afraid of it, but I was also a little interested. So I decided to pick one of the shades up. And I have the shade Bronze Seductress. So this is one of the Opulust glosses, and this specific shade is described as bronze amber with copper pink shimmer. And it looks so pretty. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I apply this, I'm gonna apply some lip liner. So honestly, this shade isn't gonna go very well with my look, but I just really wanna show you guys how this looks because I am so obsessed with it. Let me use one of my Chanel lip liners. For this lip gloss, I'm gonna go in with this one, which is 162 Nude Bronze. All right, let's go in with this gloss. And look at that. But how pretty is this? So it looks metallic-y, but it's not like other metallic lipsticks that I've tried. I actually haven't liked any of the other metallic lipsticks I've tried. So that's why it did take me a little bit of convincing to try this one out. But I am so happy I did. If you've tried these and you recommend another shade, let me know in the comments down below because I will be sure to pick it up. It is so good and it feels very comfortable. It's a little bit like heavy on the lips, but not excessively. I mean, I'm still very comfortable with it. So I love it. I just love it. Alright guys, so this is the final look with all of these new products. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And while you're there, if you have not yet subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.